I'm trying to live until I die. Come connect, you know it's a LUID state of mind. Yeah, yeah. Talking traveling, if you wanna fly. Fitness and finance, living a better life. Keep it raw, no filter. Living with no limit. Thank you for tuning in. Come on, let's get it.
Good morning, ladies. Welcome to LUID State of Mind.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming along.
Thank you for having us.
Can I just say it is a breath of fresh air to have a couple of lovely ladies in my studio. This is our 21st episode, so we've got something to celebrate, and it's been a bit of a sausage fest up to this point. I'm going to tell you that we have had one other lady guest, the dear Amanda. So yeah, it is so good to have you here today. Thank you. Do you guys look? I've got a bottle of champagne because we're celebrating. It's not too early to drink, is it?
No,
Never.
never.
But while I'm cracking this, do you want to introduce yourselves to our listeners?
Sure. I'm Paula Kelso / Lane, co-founder of Lane & Co., a brand that I launched.
Whoa!
Hello.
How did I know it wasn't going to do that? Wow. Keep talking.
Lane & Co., a brand I launched back in July last year. So I'm just here to talk about it and let you know all the benefits of, natural products and chemical-free products. And Jo, you're here.
I'm Jo. I'm Paula's cousin, actually. And I have Clearcut Marketing, so I do marketing for small business, and I'm also a client of Paula's and assist her with her marketing of Lane & Co. It's a product I really believe in, and very excited about. Yeah,
Sounds like a
It's a
great
ripper.
partnership. Wow, we had to take a little bit of a break. We're like 2 minutes in, and everybody needed a nervous pee, and I've got champagne all over my leg. Everybody got a little bit excited there at the start. So, ladies, once
thank you.
again,
you can have
thank you very much for coming into the studios. And happy 21st to LUID State of Mind.
Oh,
yes,
go
congratulations.
Well
Yes,
done, LUID.
the coming of age. Cheers.
Cheers.
You've done an amazing job here.
Thank you very much. As I've explained to our guests, up to now has been a bit of an apprenticeship for me. So it's let's see what we can do. Let's see whether people like it. We haven't had a lot of hate speech from any of our episodes, although I don't think I've paid much attention, to be quite honest.
Why would you?
No.
Why
See,
would you?
that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, we were always going to produce a product, and the audience will make their own mind up.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to cater to a certain market and then hope they, digest it
Yeah.
and love it and rave about it. So 21 in, I think it's up and away from here.
Cheers
So
to us.
cheers to everybody involved. Now, Kelso, we've known each other for a while. It's a good thing.
It's great.
I
Makes
love-
me feel good being here because I've known you so long.
I
And you
love having people I know sitting
Yeah.
opposite me and experiencing what we're experiencing today. Because as you said, it can be a little bit harrowing, and that's the thing with getting guests to come in and sit down. It's the fear of the unknown. But once you sit in here,
We're good.
Stepping out of your comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the terrifying part, but
just pull that mic a little bit closer to you. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
but it's good. It's good to do that. Everyone's got to do what scares them a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Totally. agree.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Oh, I know.
What is the point?
Yeah.
So that's the thing about LUID. It's about how to live a better life. Live until I die.
Yep.
Facing your fears, just adding value to our life.
Yep.
Because we don't know how long we're here for, do we?
Certainly not.
It's a great concept too.
It is.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
The
you very
studio's
much.
amazing. It's great.
Now, I saw a post on your Insta. Mm-hmm. Can we bring that up, Mav? Yes. And that's the reason why I rang you. Well, I texted you straight away. I said, "Hey, I want to get you in the studio because I had a lady previously that approached me that was going to talk about menopause, which is what we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. And then when I saw this, I go, boom,
Okay.
you're in.
Timing.
We're all
Timing's
in.
everything.
It is, isn't it? Now, so this post on Lane & Co., that's your Instagram?
Yes.
It says, for our people that are just listening, it says, empowering women through Lane & Co., has been an incredible journey, and in connecting with my clients experiencing perimenopause and postmenopause, a crucial revelation emerged. The impact of hormonal changes urged a shift towards a more conscious lifestyle, prompting a heightened awareness of the toxins entering their bodies. Understanding this, I made it a top priority to curate Lane & Co. products that are free from harmful chemicals, recognising the importance of embracing organic and natural ingredients for our skin and hair. Here's to a healthier, toxin-free journey through menopause and beyond. Paula Lane, founder, Lane & Co. By the Laneway here. Mm-hmm. Perfect. That summed everything up in one post, because you've got your range of products here, and that's exactly what it's about.
Yep, absolutely.
How did that come about? How did that post come about?
Well, I started the range probably July last year. So probably 5 years ago, I went down the path of investigating, getting a new brand into the salon. Wanted everything to be natural, toxic-free, chemical-free, cruelty-free, everything. So I decided to go down that path because I felt that with our demographic of our clientele, they needed it, they wanted it. So Are you
saying that your clientele's an older age?
Look, it's probably between 20 to 50.
Okay. Which is
that's
right in that
what our
wheelhouse.
demographic is. Yeah, but we've got a lot of people that come in from all walks of life. We've got young, we've got old, but mainly our main demographic is between 20 to 50. So I really wanted to put together a range that was going to cater for that age group. Because a lot of women have got as they get older, they get a lot of scalp issues. Their hair thins out, their hair changes, the texture changes. So I really wanted to create something for them. And I've had the salon for 27 years, so I really knew my clients.
There's not much you don't know about hair, isn't there?
I don't know. It's been a long journey, a great journey though. It's been probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, that salon, I think. It's just been grounding, and I've been there so long. I never thought I'd be there that long, but it's I've just stuck it out and stayed there, and I've absolutely loved every minute of it.
Are you saying it's been a struggle for you over the years, or is it?
No.
No?
No, not
You
at
wouldn't
all.
use the word struggle?
No, I wouldn't definitely not use the word struggle. No, it's been a, I think in business, when you've been in, as you know, you've been in business as long as what we have, you've had a lot of ups and downs. So you've got to be grateful for the downs and very thankful for the ups. So, no, I've loved every minute of it. And I feel that now taking on this range, I feel like it's been the next step, and I feel that, it was something that's niggled at me for so long that when you really want to do something, but you're a bit scared, you don't know how people are going to feel about it. So I sort of kept it to myself for quite a while because I wanted to, bring out something that I really wanted to do. And I was lucky enough to have had a lot of people support me, and a lot of clients have, tried it, tested it, felt it, smelt it, told me what they like, what they don't like. So I trialled it for probably a year before I actually launched it. So it was a great thing to do, having been in business for so long. It was like the next step for me.
Well, you're evolving as a business.
I'm evolving, and I'm doing something. I'm sticking to what I know, but I'm doing something that I don't know, but it's still in the same industry. I think that's
facing that fear again, isn't it?
Well, facing the fear, yeah. So it was a really good thing for me to do. It was a great thing.
Well, it sounds like you've done an awesome job on it.
I'm so happy with the product. I'm really happy. I met with chemists and manufacturers and told them what I want, what I didn't want. So it was a hard process, but I stuck with it, and I'm bloody glad I did.
So the chemists and everybody involved in the manufacturing, are we talking local or are we talking overseas? Is it manufactured locally or in Australia?
Local, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got these facilities in Victoria?
Yeah, yep. There's a manufacturer and a chemist that I'm working with at the moment to launch some more products in the future. So I'm working with them at the moment, and the other one is in Queensland.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Good excuse to bump up there for
I
a
know,
week.
I know, absolutely.
Hello to Charlotte up
Yeah,
there.
she's had me a few times in her spare room.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we'll go into those products a little bit later because I know that you said you've got something for me, something for my wife, something for Mav.
I've got all those products are for Ash.
Awesome.
I thought she'd love them. And Mav, there's a fibre wax there for you. So
Oh, for sure. I'll be stealing that.
yeah, you'll be stealing that.
Wow, what an awesome journey.
So
Awesome.
it's been great. It's been really good.
So let's talk about vaginal dryness.
Let's get straight to the point.
You knew that
The
was
M
coming
word.
out.
I knew
You
it.
The M
knew that
word.
was coming out, didn't you? So the main focus, as we talked about on the phone, was this awareness about menopause. Now, we had a conversation and I told you my journey from a male point of view with my wife. And I said to you, we knew it was coming, or I knew it was coming. And you said, oh, that's very perceptive or very
The timing was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we discussed that if you're over 20 years old and you don't know how the female body works, maybe you need to go to Google and check it
Get
out.
on board. Yep.
So my wife is going through menopause at the moment. And the reason why, we talked about this earlier, the reason why we sort of put everything together with her doctors is that she had a low bone score. So she went and got her bone density checked and it was very low. So osteoporosis is one of the symptoms of menopause. And now she's on HRT. And you're both going through, are you on HRT?
No.
No? So for those people that don't know, it's hormone replacement therapy, which is estrogen. So as females get older, their estrogen levels drop, which is the same in males with testosterone.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's how it all starts. So we've got two different journeys here, and I know my journey with my wife. Do you want to talk about your
About
Joe,
my journey.
you look like you're chomping at the bit to get something out, Joe.
No, not at all. I'm just listening. Yes, well, I'm what you call post-menopause.
So you're at the other side.
Well,
Is that what
yes
they
and
call
no, I
it?
still have the symptoms, and I'm still on HRT. And I think there's
Can I just stop you there for a second? You said still on HRT.
Yes.
Is HRT an ongoing? It's an ongoing treatment. So you're
Yes.
going to be on it for the rest of your life. Is that
no,
correct?
No. I will come off HRT at some point, but at the moment, just because I'm what they call post-menopause doesn't mean that I'm not having menopausal symptoms. They can go on for years. In fact, in asking my mum, how long did you have menopause? She said, 10 years. She said, and even now in my 70s, I can still have the occasional hot flush. So there's so much misconception and sometimes uneducation, even, for us in our 50s who are going through it, we have to go and search for information about, well, what's perimenopause? Can I be on HRT when I'm in perimenopausal stage? What are the benefits of that? Can I then, how long can I stay on it for whilst I've still got the symptoms and some of those symptoms are completely varied. So, everybody's experience is different too. So
Can I just give you a list of the symptoms?
yep, knock yourself.
So obviously low levels of estrogen. So we've got mood swings.
Yep,
Is that a tick for you?
yep,
Hot flushes, yes.
yep,
Ding, ding, ding. Night sweats.
yes.
Oh, I get night sweats too. Maybe I've got it.
Foot inside the donor, foot outside
Shaking
the
the,
donor.
shaking
Oh
the
my
foot,
God.
shake your foot outside
really?
the bed, hang your foot out and shake. My husband says, stop shaking.
Decreased libido.
Yes.
I think that's a big one. We're going to go into that a little bit more depth,
Yep.
if you excuse my pun. Irregular periods. Well, so we know that ladies are starting or in perimenopause because they've got irregular periods.
Yep.
So they may have one month and not have it for a couple of months.
Yep.
But is it? Correct me if it's wrong. It's after 12 months of no period that you're
Yeah, that you
you're
start.
classified as being full blown.
Yeah, in
Well, I think
menopause.
perimenopause is between 35 to 45, I
Yes.
think, and then menopause is 45 to 55. So
Is it because
it starts early.
From what I heard, some ladies can start before their 40s, and
Yeah.
some can start
Yep.
later
Absolutely.
on. So there's really no sort of you need to start here. It doesn't work that way. It's
And sometimes they're not getting. Sometimes, often, and you look, you see it a lot and you hear it a lot, obviously, in the social media and different people talking about, particularly when you're in menopause, you tend to go in search of information about, treatment of symptoms, natural treatment of symptoms. Again, sort of going in and that whole conversation, which Paul has heard a million times in the salon, which is, sitting in the chair, getting your hair done and saying, oh, you know what, I really need to reduce my toxic load because I know that those environmental factors are going to have an impact on some of these symptoms of menopause. And so to complement or to find what works for each individual, if you don't have an understanding doctor who doesn't understand or who... It becomes apparent to me that there's a lot of doctors out there, and it's probably not going to sound great, but there's a lot of doctors out there that are sort of like, yeah, you'll be right, just push through it. Well, you actually don't have to just push through it, and nor should you. You should be able to look at different ways, whether they're more natural ways, or complemented with things like HRT. So...
Okay, if we're talking about natural ways or
Yep.
natural remedies,
Yep.
so the main prescribed is HRT,
Yep.
which increases your estrogen levels, which
hormones.
technically is a natural occurring thing in your body in any way.
Yeah.
It's because the low levels of in your body that you're
Yep.
getting all these symptoms. So it's cause and effect.
Yep.
So a lady's seeking out alternative therapies to HRT that you know of is what have you read? So what have you read, and what are they seeking?
There's
what are they
so
seeking
many,
out?
There's so many things, isn't there? There's so much, and in some ways it's sort of like a bit of a overload. I know, and I can only speak for myself and my own experience, really, and that is that nutrition, diet. Again, what are the environment, exercise, strength and conditioning rather than trying to go for a run.
Yep.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I went for a run, but
Running's overrated.
Oh, God, yeah.
but going to the gym, having strength and conditioning, being able to listen to your body, being able to understand that there's a number of things, getting good sleep. I'm a migraine sufferer. Someone who suffers migraine, it can be quite challenging going on to HRT. I was always of the belief that I couldn't go on HRT because that would trigger migraines.
Years ago. I think it's improved over the years.
Massive bad raps.
Yeah, it's a lot of people are on it now for quite a long time.
Yeah,
So.
and as it turns out, the more you dig and the more research from more reputable, and that's the other thing. I think that there was never really a lot of research in menopause, menopausal symptoms. They were often misdiagnosed as other symptoms. People were being medicated for things that weren't necessarily right. They were just typical perimenopausal symptoms. And so there's sort of, and look, don't get me wrong, disclaimer, I'm no expert in it. I can only talk about my experience and the experience that we have. And one of the things that I have probably been so much more focused on and now trying to sort of drum into my 14-year-old daughter's head is that, even at a teenage, reduce your toxic load. Just reduce it. Stop going into Mecca and buying serums for your face because you don't actually need those active ingredients on your face. They're actually doing you more harm than damage. Don't wash your hair with stuff that's got all this active stuff in it that's drying it out and causing your hair to be dull or to it's part of your skin.
Well, when you're talking about these products, a pregnant woman doesn't put products in their hair. There's certain things that they don't touch.
That's right.
Knowing that it could harm their unborn baby. Yeah. So that should be a number one rule. Is like if it's going to harm the baby, it shouldn't be good for you, full stop. But going back to that list of things that we're talking about, diet, exercise, sleep, these are all
lifestyle, isn't it?
These are all factors that if you don't have that as part of your base load, you're gonna have problems with other things, whether it's, as you say, migraines, or whether it's what. I'm a migraine sufferer as well too, and I've got to keep my checks and balances. Otherwise, I suffer. And I've just recently found out with my migraines is that I'm just not hydrating enough. So I'm putting electrolytes and all this stuff back into my system on a regular basis because I exercise every day. And I'm losing that sodium and that out of my body, so it's got to be replaced. So once again, it's about that cause and effect scenario.
And it's often a trigger. So it's often a trigger. Exercise can be a trigger for migraine. It's like, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to, like you say.
So everybody
you can hydrate beforehand. Really make sure you're well hydrated before you go to the gym, so that it doesn't trigger necessarily a migraine or the intensity of it.
But the funny thing about migraines is I can catch a beam of light at the corner of my eye.
Yeah, like that.
Your aura.
I get the auras. Mark and I
yeah.
both get those auras, and it's like a blind spot. And I'll be walking along, and I can see this spot, and I'll think, "Oh shit, I'm getting an aura."
I get this big curve.
It gets bigger, and it's like a wheel, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's a trigger. And my doctor said to me, "That's the trigger. That's how you know you got to deal with it. You got to jump on it straight away."
I actually know before that starts. I get this feeling. Before that starts,
that
and
fogginess.
I know to take something. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten smarter and just more and more aware of it. But that, like, being older as we are, we should understand our bodies more.
Yes.
We should know ourselves more. If we're not listening to our bodies, well, it's our own
That's
it's our own
age,
fault.
isn't it? I think the older we get, the more
and wisdom.
we've got to
we get
change
wiser.
our lifestyle, though. I think when we were younger, I used to be able to eat what I want to, drink what I want to, do what I wanted to. And I never forget someone said to me, "You're not going to be able to eat that crap when you're 40."
Yeah.
And
Well,
I thought, yes, I
comes-
will. But it's but as you get to the age that we're at now, you've got to change your lifestyle.
Well, that comes back to that hormone, your estrogen. That drops. Is the same with testosterone in males. And if you've got a husband and wife, and the wife's low on estrogen and the husband's low on testosterone, and they're not communicating, it's a recipe for disaster. You know? There's probably a lot of divorces that could be avoided with some hormones.
Absolutely. For men.
Well, because we're talking about the symptoms. So we had the decreased libido, irregular periods, the vaginal dryness, which is this is our
Topic no one wants to talk about
that's
it.
our keyword.
No,
The vajuju.
We're gonna
The vajuju dryness.
we're gonna dive into that later on. But if we look at the low testosterone in men, the effects, you've got erectile dysfunction, reduced sex drive, hair loss, depression, weight gain, osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis.
Sorry. Muscle changes, enlarged breasts, and shrinking testes. So you've got a list of stuff from a male's point of view that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to see fucking happen for a start.
No.
So that's what
Couple
happens.
that with menopause.
Well, as I
mix
said,
that
if
up.
you've got a male-female relationship and
Yeah.
they're not discussing it, surely there's some households out
think,
there that must be.
There's a bit of a gap around men because a lot of men don't understand, not for fault of their own. I think it's not an educational point. It's not a conversational point that men need to know about women who are going through menopause. It's almost like it hits them and go, oh, what the fuck
the
is
hell's
going
wrong
on
with
here?
her?
Well, I can imagine a conversation with a group of guys around at a pub, and somebody's bitching on about his missus being a pain in his ass.
Crazy woman.
Yeah.
So, well,
She's crazy.
why?
Yeah.
There's everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
And it's whether you're not treating her as well as you should, knowing that she is going through menopause or she's going through something.
And
so
checking in
that's
with her and saying, what is happening here, or having that open conversation. And if you're, it's not a coincidence, I don't think, that you see a lot of divorces happening in this age bracket, in this, 50s,
for sure.
this time. There's without a doubt, and I have had friends and acquaintances who have separated and who have sort of said, if I had have done something about my menopause, maybe I would be still married now, or you hear that a bit and you think, oh, wow, that's really sad that you've probably spent, a good part of your life with your partner, and you've raised kids and you've been through the ups and downs of just, married life, and you've got through to this particular point, and somewhere along the line there's potentially, it may have just been that, and I know my husband says to me sometimes, have you got your patch on? Because I'd be going crooked or going, having one of those sort of, mood swings and say, going crook at the kids about something that perhaps I wouldn't normally, lose my shit about.
Do you know, question for you, do you know that you're doing it?
Sometimes when you're in the moment of a mood swing, it's probably a bit like PMS, really, and you just get a little bit witchy.
The time of the month, something can set you off. I think irritability, isn't it?
Yeah,
you can just be irritable.
And it's a lack of tolerance, and that was one of the things when I went to the doctor and said, look, I've got these hot flushes. Find myself really intolerant in certain situations.
He would have been already writing out the prescription, wouldn't he?
No, it was a she, and she's brutal.
Sorry.
She's a really hardcore, and she was the one that said to me, you lose 10 kilos. You need to lose 10 kilos. She was straight up, I want you to work on that. I'll put you on this if, you need to work on that. These are your blood pressure is starting to increase. There's a whole lot of side effects to the fact that, that weight gain, all of those things. I'm still working on that. But one of the biggest thing, as I said to her at the time, was, but above all, this has dried up. What are we going to do about that? Because, I like my husband and he likes me. So... we'd like to do something about that.
How good is that?
What is the obvious treatment for that? Is it just...
It's, an estrogen patch or estrogen gel paired with some progesterone.
Yeah.
So she started off with the course of that, and I have been on that for 2 years. And things restored.
Does that fix the Sahara down that naturally?
Yeah. I could tell you a really funny story. My husband would die when I tell him.
Do you want to give a shout out to him?
Hi, Ads.
Go, Adsy.
Sorry.
Go, Adsy.
Come on, get it out.
Sorry.
Get it out.
No, but there's lots of things you can use for vaginal dryness. The good old lube is,
sure.
first and foremost, and that was sort of, the initial point. But what happens is that sometimes that didn't even cut the mustard. Things were dry, the friction's not great, and it hurts. So for some women, if they didn't actually address it, perhaps they just shut shop.
Oh, you can totally understand. If you look at all the other symptoms, it's like, well, let's just shut it all down, And
that's when men get frustrated, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
they think they've got needs.
As I said,
totally.
If you're a male in your 30s and you don't understand the mechanics of a female, you need to get learned, because it's especially if you're in a relationship. Would you agree that sexual relations is the hub of any relationship?
Totally.
Yeah,
I do.
Absolutely, I think. Absolutely.
Definitely.
So if you don't have the hub of the world, it's just going to collapse around you, isn't it?
I think you've got to have that connection. If you're not, having sex regularly, if you're not intimate regularly, then, it's...
Well, you're just best mates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah. I don't like to say this as a male, but isn't that the reason why dudes cheat?
Yeah.
Isn't that why there's a high percentage of
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
middle-aged men
absolutely.
that are just going out and just trying to get some intimacy?
Yeah,
because
they've
getting
got
shut
needs,
down.
and they get shut down. No, not tonight. I've got to,
got
a migraine.
Just communication. You've got to keep it open the whole time. Communicate, and have those really uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hardest thing. I think a lot of men and a lot of women, they think, oh shit, they don't want to open that can of worms because they don't want to hear the answer. Well, I'm not happy with this, or I'm not happy with that, or whatever. I think you've just got to keep communicating, and you've got to be intimate. If you're not intimate, you'd lose that closeness. You'd
As
lose
you
that
say,
connection.
you're just sleeping with your roommate. You know?
Yeah, that's right. And I absolutely, hands down, I think that, I'm from a family, I have 5 brothers. And so, I was surrounded by men growing up. And so that perspective for me, and, some women might dispute that, I don't know. But, yeah, I think that they're, with all respect, men are far more simple and less complex than perhaps what women are. Women analyse and think about things and
they
go
need
and
the
research.
simple things.
Yeah,
They need the simple things in
they
life.
do.
You're talking about guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I switched off there for a
We're
minute.
totally going off topic here.
Where was
no,
your
no.
brain going, Brendo?
No, I'm just joking. Because like I'm in tune with my own body,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the same with my wife. So the conversation about her coming into this zone, which I'm well aware of, it's not like my mother sat me down and said, "Oh,
Yeah.
when you get older, your wife's going to go." That never happened. But it's just being smart and doing some research and going, all right, so this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It will address it, and it starts by having a conversation, maybe over an
uncomfortable
argument
conversation.
or something that's said. It's like, well, hey, what's wrong? Why are you reacting this way?
Yeah.
I didn't realise I was reacting that way.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what else is going on?
Yeah.
And it is easy to start a conversation. It's
Yeah.
just asking questions.
Yeah.
Not not accusing your partner of anything, or,
Yeah.
or not pointing the finger and just saying, hey, why do you think this happened?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm no relationship expert. I'm on my
God,
third.
me neither.
I'm on my third.
None of us
I'm
are.
on my
No.
third wife. That's probably why I know a little bit more than a lot of other people. And it's just discussing. I'm not the easiest person to be around a lot of the time. There's probably a male version of PMS out there that they really haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
Because dudes go through cycles as well too.
Well, that's another thing that's not discussed, is it?
Well, it's
Men
all
that go through, because sometimes we say, God, he's got his period.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
he's cranky.
So
'cause he
there's
hasn't had
times
any
that men
action.
don't really get.
This
There's
is like
times in the month where the man's like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
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 Well, it
Why
could
do
be-
I feel the way I feel?
Because
Well,
I think
maybe
with
they've had a
menopause,
drop of
yeah,
testosterone.
but I
or
think
something,
with
I don't know.
menopause, like I know I have my flat spots. I reckon probably at least once or twice a month I'll have a couple of days where I'm really, really flat. Now that's a typical menopause sign.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know it's not going to last long, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're aware of it.
I'm
You
aware of
understand
it, and I know when it's coming, and I feel it, and I deal with it, and I know it's only going to be here for a couple of days. So, and I know I'm going to be through it pretty quick. So I know I'm pretty much in touch with that sort
And I
of
think
stuff.
that's a really good point in that I think sometimes what can happen, and particularly for women, we can get we do research this stuff and we find out and we understand the symptoms and go, I've got that symptom, I've got that symptom, and I always make a joke with my husband, I forgot to pick up the toilet paper. That's menopause. And he'll go, oh, that old chestnut. That old chestnut again. Yeah. I'll blame it on everything. But on a more serious note, when you talk about that flat spot and when you feel a little bit down, a little bit depressed, and some of us can be in tune with that. And, I find myself saying even to my daughter who is at the, early stages of her cycle and just, having her periods and sort of say, well, that's okay to feel flat. Visit it, but don't let it come and visit you, but also let
Deal
it
with
exit too.
Yeah.
So,
you've got to feel it. I know you've got to, know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for me, if I'm having a bad day or a flat day or whatever, I know Erin and Mark will sort of look at each other and roll the eyebrows and I go, yeah, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah,
but it's a little
simply-
bit of an internal joke, but they know that, they know what's going on because they know me so well. So it's...
Well, you've got that awareness, as you said, that awareness and that self-awareness. Yeah, it makes it easier for everybody else in the room or everybody else in your circle.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And tell them.
yeah, and
I'm
say,
just
I'm
feeling
flat.
a bit flat.
Yeah, I'm
I
flat.
do it. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If something's
Yeah.
bothering me about something, I'll just say, look, this is
Yeah.
how it is.
The good thing about that is that people know where they stand around you.
Yeah.
There's clear lines.
Absolutely.
There's clear
Yeah,
lines.
absolutely.
And when we don't discuss things, those lines get blurred.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause I
people don't know where they should be, where they are from Martha.
Because you don't want people walking away thinking, well, did I do something or whatever. I mean, you always want to be open and honest with everybody. Like, that's how I've always been. Open, honest, and just,
Say how it is.
Say it how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, good people to be around because you know where you stand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one of those things. I feel I feel sad for our mum's generation.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it was just, the change of life, the change was always swept under the carpet. And
Actually, talking about that, Mav, can you Google search the history of HRT and when it was first introduced for us, please? Sorry.
yeah, and so for them, it was. I think about my mum who had 6 children, with quite a long a long age. The eldest is in his late 50s and the youngest is in his 40s, early 40s. So she would have, and she says now she was going through menopause when the youngest one, when Patrick was at secondary school. And I never used to, I didn't realise until now that when he was in year 12, Mum used to send me to do the parent-teacher interviews. Now, I was only about 19 at the time. And, of course, I loved the parent-teacher interviews.
I'm just trying to picture that now.
Yeah.
An opportunity to sort of get stuck into them. But it was because she said, I just was done. I just couldn't cope. I couldn't get my head around it. And, I was right in the throes of menopause and it was awful. And I thought, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I
can so
Well,
relate.
as you say, as we were talking earlier on about these symptoms,
Yep.
and you're in situations where you may have a hot flush or something, you sweat, and then you get anxious about it. So it creates this another dimension of symptoms and cause and effect of
And
having
create
You
anxiety.
don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. And you think, gosh, back then,
Well, so look at that. So the history of hormone replacement therapy started in the 1960s with a very high popularity in the 1990s. The first clinical trials of HRT and chronic postmenopausal conditions were started in the USA in the late 1990s. So even though it was started in the 60s, it only really started taking off in the 90s, which is not, well, we're talking 30 years.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this generation of females that have had no fucking help.
No education.
massive.
At all.
Like our parents' generation, they just had to sort of, fight the good fight, which explains why also when you go to, you might go to your traditional doctors and you've got an older doctor and they'll say, just push through it. Just push through it. You'll be right. Push through it.
And the rates,
right.
the rates of divorce were actually lower back then. So,
So maybe
go figure.
Maybe pushing through it's a better idea. I don't know. Maybe they just sort of, toughed it out. And I think there is a fine line. There is a fine line of sort of, over analysing and over focusing on a lot of these things. I'm fairly pragmatic in that sense and sort of go, okay, well, yep, these are the symptoms. Let's address what I can address. Let's, like we've said, reduce toxic load. Let's do eat better. Let's make sure I do some strength and conditioning on a regular basis. Let's just do a few of those things and make sure I've got my sleep in good check, and I'm hydrating, whatever. That works. That works for me. Other people have other symptoms that need to seek out other advice, but there's much more conversation around that, and therefore an opportunity for women who might not necessarily want to talk about it and just want it to pass by, who will turn around and go, okay, maybe I should think about that. Maybe that will help me, and go off on their way and do something about it.
Well, I think this day and age, with the amount of resources that we have, there shouldn't be anybody that should be struggling without some sort of intervention.
Instagram's full of doctors talking about perimenopause and menopause. There's so much education now. That's why our daughters we're pretty open and honest with our kids too, even the boys. So there's so much education around it now.
Yep.
So
Well, yeah, there's social media for you, isn't it? The good thing about that type of topic is you'd want to hope that it's all up and above. There's a lot of stuff with some of the stuff in my feed about diets and exercise, and it's just the same shit getting re-googled, or it's people, these nutritionists that are spouting stuff that isn't correct because they're uneducated. It just seems it's constantly filled with all these people that want to take a different angle on something. As you say, with a subject like menopause, there's only so much information that can be provided, and up and above that, it's pretty much set in stone. We've got a series of symptoms. We've got medical solutions with the HRT, and that brings me to heart health as well too. I was reading something about female heart health, is that ladies actually have more heart attacks later in life because their period cycle pretty much staves off any sort of heart disease until they're finished. So after you go into perimenopause and menopause, and your estrogen drops, you're at more risk of heart disease and cardiovascular disease, stroke, etc., because of build up of fat in the arteries. So that's why I question you about the estrogen treatment as to whether it was ongoing for the rest of your life, or whether it was a periodical fix.
My
you can take it.
I think you can take it
You
for
can
a long
take it,
time.
yeah, for a
But
long time.
I think that, my understanding was that at some point I would go off. It'd probably become ineffective to some degree, because once all those hormones once that sort of that cycle, your ovaries are sort of, I guess, shriveled up, and not producing. There's probably, there's probably no need.
Let's check that. Let's fact check that. Mav, can you just check on the duration of HRT treatment? Because it would be my understanding that because it's a naturally occurring hormone, there's no downside to continually having it in your system, and it's going to help with those issues like heart disease and stroke and stuff.
Well,
And
I think back in the
osteoporosis,
90s when it first
and
came out,
osteoporosis.
I think there was not enough
There was not
education
enough,
around it.
and
so
there was a lot of sort of history. There was a study done on, on the link to breast cancer, and there's sort of in more recent years seem to have sort of debunked a lot of that.
Okay.
I know
That one there that says how long should HRT be taken for menopause? If you have HRT to help with menopause symptoms, you should take it for 2 to 3 years to get the best benefit in reducing the risk of osteoporosis. You need to take HRT for at least 5 years. So there you go. There is a shelf life to that. I suppose if you're looking, early 50s, that's going to take you into your 60s. It seems.
I would like to think that by 55 I'm done and dusted, just
What's
quietly.
that one? So you just.
I don't think it'll hurt you to stay on it for
because you're specifically talking about symptoms, because that's the thing with you is you've got symptoms and you didn't, did you?
I have a few, but it's more get a little bit hot, a little bit, flat.
Yeah.
But for me, I have a marina in, so it sort of has minimised a lot of the symptoms of menopause. I'm not saying it doesn't do that much. It stops the period, a marina does, but it's helped me a lot. So that's with pain, bloating. That's why you get a marina in. So,
sorry, explain to me.
So a marina is a small little, what would you call it?
Device.
A device that gets inserted. It helps you with bloating.
I've never heard of it. Mav, can you Google that? Marina.
Marina. A lot of women have marina in, and there's a little bit of a discussion around, does it help with menopause? Does it help with symptoms? I personally think it does. But
where's it placed?
you insert it into your vajuch.
Yeah, vajuch.
As we were talking before.
Vajuch.
Your vajuch. So
Can you Google that, Mav? Mav's having fun here today, isn't he?
He's learning.
The MIRENA. Can you?
a lot of women
we
have
good
a
here?
marina in.
Oh, so it's an IUD, yeah.
It's
oh,
like
hold
an
on.
IUD. There it is.
Where? There?
No? Which one are we looking at?
Yeah, that'd probably.
It's mainly to treat heavy periods.
It's good for and it's birth control as well.
It's birth
isn't it?
control, yeah.
Oh,
So
so sorry.
so-
Yeah, that's where I'm confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter has Marina in. So it's for birth control, heavy periods.
Okay, so it's predominantly for birth control?
Yeah. But
Okay.
it's also for, moods as well. I think it sort of calms that down a lot too.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that that's the be-all and end-all of menopause, but it certainly helps. It certainly has helped me.
I've never heard of that. I've learnt something today.
It probably makes a lot of sense, and I don't know enough about it either.
Well,
'cause
I don't
haven't,
either, but it's been a game changer for
But if
me.
it's used for birth control, it obviously has some sort of impact on your hormonal
Well, I think
balances.
it's better than taking the pill because, Erin's 20 and she has a Marina in. So it's something that lasts every 5 years and you take it out and you replace it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
The risks of taking pill are
I
documented
personally
as
didn't
well.
want her on the pill because I think if the longer they're on it, the more harm it can do.
Yeah, for
Whereas
sure.
the Marina, there's a lot of research out there that says that the Marina is really good for all age groups, especially if you've got heavy periods, birth control and hormones as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sounds like a
for
good,
me,
good fix-all. For those people that have those.
yeah, well, it's not good for some, but for me, it's been a game changer. So,
Great.
yeah, it's been amazing.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Buckfast. What is Buckfast, you ask? Well, let me tell you. It's better known as Bucky, and it's an internationally enjoyed, unique tasting tonic wine. It's equally rich in heritage as it is in taste. It packs a punch from 15% alcohol and about the same amount of caffeine as a well-known drink that gives you wings. Buckfast's enjoyment is only rivaled by its versatility from the cooking pot to the wine or cocktail glass. Drink it straight, mix it in a Negroni, or use it as a marinade. Available Australia-wide and distributed by Beeblebrox Beverages. Visit beeblebrox.com.au to find your closest stockist and buckfast.com for cocktail and recipe ideas. We're back. Everybody's had another wee.
Yep.
Drinks are topped up. We're ready to go.
Beautiful. Thank you.
These products. First thing I want to say, I love the simplicity of the logo and the bottles. Mm-hmm. They bloody look good.
Thank you.
They look really good. I've got the volume shampoo. Now we're talking about earlier the reason why you wanted to do your own product range, and that was
I wanted it to be completely natural. I wanted it to be non-toxic, chemical-free, cruelty-free, made in Australia. I wanted all the products to be just natural.
so there's a lot of buzzwords in there.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
buzzwords, and there's a lot of people. I think the great thing about the internet and social media these days is that messages around natural products, everything that's not, but it's getting out there and people are getting educated because there's a lot of products out there that have a lot of shit in them.
Yep.
And the reason, as you say, the reason why you're doing what you're doing is because it's about what's not in them.
That's exactly right. So at the back of the bottle, it actually says it's naturally free from. So I know a lot of people these days are so educated with what's in products. So they know what is going to hurt them, what they don't want in it. So it's free from parabens, sulfates, sodium chloride, MEA, DEA, TEA, and artificial colours. So
And this one is petrochemical as well too.
yeah,
So that's a perfect checklist, isn't it?
Yep.
Because as you say,
is.
you know, a lot of people know now what they
don't want.
want.
Yeah, and a lot of people come into the salon and they'll pick up the back of the bottle and they'll look at what's in it. So back in the day, people didn't care about that, whereas now people walk in, they want to know what's in it.
Whose idea was that? I'm looking at you, Joe. Was that your brilliant idea?
What's that?
No.
The list on the back.
Oh, the list. No, Paula did all of that part. Yeah, no. That's,
Wow.
That's all
People
Paula's. she's very
research,
clever.
they know what they need and what they want. So they want to know what's in it, what's not in it. So if there's some ingredients out there that doesn't agree with them,
Yeah.
they just look at the bottle and they know that, if it's one of these that's not in it, then they know they can use that. And I think back to the menopause thing, a lot of people have itchy scalps these days, whether it's from the environment, menopause, whatever. They get itchy scalp, irritable. And a lot of women get psoriasis as they get older.
Right. So
psoriasis all over the body and mainly on the scalp.
wow.
So this product, because it's so natural and there's no nasties in it, it's going to really agree with their scalp and the overall health of their hair.
So you yourself have come up with the formulas or the recipes for these, obviously with the help of your chemist.
Oh, absolutely.
So you just go in there and go, this is what I don't want.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
Exactly.
And you've obviously done your research on what you don't want based on issues like psoriasis and dandruff and itchy scalp.
And what clients want and what they don't want.
As you say, you tie that back to menopause, and if you've got an itchy scalp and you're irritable, it's a combination to avoid, isn't it?
Oh, constantly people come in saying they're itchy. What's this? What's that? The scalp's red, the scalp's dry.
Yeah.
So for me, this was really important, the ingredients and what was in it, because people know their stuff these days.
Yeah. Well, as you say, the main thing is about toxins, isn't it? About not putting
Reduce
something, because it's whether you're putting it on your body or whether you're ingesting it. If you're putting it on your body, it's been absorbed by your body.
That's right.
Yeah.
And constantly over and over of time, it does build up too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, like underrun deodorants with aluminium and stuff can't be good for you long term. You know.
No, and it's that then perhaps changes how your hormones work.
Oh, it's definitely.
So-
There's a lot. Once again, the cause and effect theory.
Yep.
You know, and there's a lot of stuff that people still don't understand, don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bullshit out there, but the thing is that if you're suffering from something and it becomes a problem, which like itchy scalp, or even say you were talking about your teenage boy, having dandruff or an itchy at 19, it can be a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah,
It could even cause a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah.
So we've got this problem. You're going to find a solution for it, and there
You're
are
gonna
solutions.
research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Well,
information.
It was one of
out
those
there.
things that wouldn't go away. So I said to him, I said to Paula, he's got, it's like a build-up. It's like baby's cradle cap. And he's trying all these things, but they're not working. So he was, going to Priceline and going to have a look at what things he can put, scalp repair or whatever. And he couldn't, whether they had chemicals in it that were just enhancing the problem, you don't know. So, which is when Paula said, take this, get him to try the hydrate.
And you're talking about, was it, that's the volume.
Yeah,
the
the
hydrate.
Hydrate. And within a couple of weeks, gone, and
Problem
hasn't
solved.
had it since.
Is there a problem out there with a lot of chemists and a lot of beauty suppliers that are selling products where they're not disclosing ingredients? Do you know if it's?
I think
if that's an
legally
issue?
they have to. Like they've got to show what is in the actual bottle.
Okay.
Like legally they have to. So, a lot of products these days are paraben-free, sulfate-free. But, for Lane & Co., it was a no-brainer for me because it had to be all natural. It had to be like lavender, chamomile, jasmine. There had to be vitamins, antioxidants. So there's a lot of products out there that aren't paraben-free or sulfate-free, but...
they're the main two, aren't they?
The main two, yeah.
And if we've got products with those in them, what are they generally doing? Are they just being absorbed by the body and being stored later to cause cancer? Do we know?
We don't know.
No,
we don't know.
We don't even know, do
Just
we?
don't-
No.
And people react to them differently, obviously.
Yeah.
If I tell you a story of, I bought a coffee table for an outdoor area.
Are we talking about the same thing here? You've gone on into the patio. We
Hang
were
on a minute.
in the bathroom, and you've gone out to the patio.
I'm going out the back.
Yeah.
And there was the paint on this coffee table, so it was fancy concrete, spray painted sort of coffee table. And the paint on that coffee table seemed to be eaten away by something. And it took me ages to work out what it was. And it was only that one of the kids had left, and I won't say the brand, but had left a sunscreen product that you buy at the supermarket on the table that they're using all on their skin on a regular basis around the pool. Had eaten through the whole paint on this coffee table. So this is a, prevent cancer sunscreen product. 50 plus. So I think that I'm buying the right thing for him. As it turns out, I'm like, if this is what it's doing to the paint on a coffee table, what's it doing to my kids' skin?
Exactly.
And what's going in their bodies? Because I just assumed it's sunscreen.
Wasn't there a big thing about sunscreen and like the SPF 50 and the SPF 30?
Still is. I think.
One is still an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think if you use sunscreens with zinc oxide is what I've learned. Look for the ones that are more natural, toxic free. There's only about 1 or 2 in the supermarket.
So we're saying we want zinc oxide, or we
and
don't
you want zinc. You want to use zinc because it's the proper blockout for
Right.
it. But
And you
that's
don't
just
need to
something
pack
I
it on.
learned.
That's one thing I learned. You actually don't need to pack it on.
No.
If it's a good enough sunscreen, you really just need a small layer, a small film of it, and reapply more often.
Yeah.
You don't need to be packing it on
Loading
so
it all
it's so
on.
thick. It doesn't make any difference.
Not like a
That's
cricketer,
my
like a
understanding.
cricketer does.
Yeah, you just need a fine film and top it up.
I suppose if you're doing it on a daily basis, like using a sunscreen because you work outside, like I'm talking to blokes out on building sites because
Yeah.
I can imagine how many don't.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're going to, as part of your morning ritual, you'd want something that's going to be nice to your skin.
Yeah.
You know, because you're going to be putting it on at lunchtime and then maybe in the afternoon. And
Yeah.
Actually, I've used a foundation for probably same foundation for 30 years, and it's had SPF
Yeah.
30, I think, and I've used it for years, and my skin has been fantastic.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to use it. It's
Yeah.
just
Oh
one of
yeah,
those
Absolutely.
yeah.
things.
Well, that's another health lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
In life,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, I know my wife bitches at me and Mav every time we go. Oh, yeah, put some
Which is what's
sunscreen
going
on.
on. But this is the thing, right? So
We didn't do it as kids, did we? God, the amount of times I got burnt as a kid. Never
Oh,
put
I know.
sunscreen on.
But we're wising up now because we're starting to go, hang on, but, I didn't address the sunscreen issue until I saw my coffee table ruined from sunscreen eating.
Yeah, I
through
wondered
it.
where you were
That's
going with that
interesting,
story.
isn't it?
That's
isn't
where
it?
I was going with the story when I went out the backyard. But yeah, it's the same thing as Paul is saying. You have to, people are now starting to become more and more aware of what the chemicals are. But there's a lot of product out there. We've got no idea what they're
Is that going to be
they
the
are.
next product in your range? An everyday sunscreen?
Well, possibly.
Why not?
My next one will be,
for the guys.
yeah,
go.
actually that's, Brendo,
Yeah.
giving me an idea there.
Yeah, we can do a photo shoot with a couple of tradies and some shorts and high-vis vests and
Ooh, I
nothing
like
else.
it.
Go, Paul
Hey,
in the
there you
middle.
go.
This is the next. This will be my next thing now.
Bada bing, bada boom. As I said, I love the concept. As I said, there's a lot of buzzwords in there, and they can be overused sometimes. But when you break down your product range, it's no bullshit.
Yep, it
It's
is
not-
what
it's-
it is.
There's nothing like you. There's
clean
nothing
and
hidden there.
simple. No.
What you see is what you get.
Yep, it's clean and simple. They all smell beautiful. They're all like, the fibre wax is beeswax, coconut oil, vitamin E.
Can I have a look at that? So that's a
Beautiful,
that
the
one.
fibre wax.
That's for you, Mav.
oh, it does smell.
That's a fibre wax. It's beeswax, coconut oil, and vitamin E.
I use the fibre wax, just sort of, put through
Just a zhuzh. I can do it on my
for a bit of
eyebrows.
zhuzh. You could, if you wanted to.
Oh, it is waxy. Ooh, I'm going to have the nicest
fibrous.
eyebrows.
Kids
It's
love it.
fibrous.
I'm going to have the nicest eyebrows in
Yeah,
podcast.
they're going to think you've had them done. Just had my brows done.
Lucky I got a towel down here from our earlier incident. Do you want to come and have a look at this, Mav? Come. Yeah. Come on, let's get him involved.
Come on, Mav.
He's been
This is
sitting
your
there.
product.
He's been sitting there through
need
the
to
whole vag discussion. All.
Yeah,
Yes,
the poor thing.
he's learned a lot today, haven't you, Mav?
Are you in shot? No. There you go. Right, the kids are going to love this
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
We'll
My
get-
kids all use the
we'll get-
fibre wax.
We'll
They
get
love
you on
it.
Insta. Oh wow,
The fibre
they do. They
wax
feel
is
like a bit
brilliant.
more wild. Dude, you're going to need a little bit more for your caterpillars.
I know.
That's
that
awesome.
hair, I could do so much with that hair. You like that?
No, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to break down the product range because obviously it's available at your website,
Yes.
laneandco.com.au.
Laneway.com.
Oh, laneway.com. So
Yep.
Laneway's the
laneway.com.au, which
Okay.
is the salon.
that's correct.
Yeah.
So
So they
you've
can
got
come into the salon or buy it online.
so it's all online.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got shampoos.
We've got shampoos, conditioner, body wash, repair mask. This is absolutely incredible, this repair mask. It's jojoba oil, peppermint, It's amazing.
it
We've got the fibre wax.
Can that repair this? Or am
You
I
never
too
know, you
far-
could try.
I'm too far gone.
You could try.
I'm too far gone.
We've got a beautiful leave-in curl cream. We've got a leave-in treatment. The body wash
The leave-in treatments are
is
awesome.
amazing.
I use it most days.
So you're washing your hair or your
Shampoo, condition, hop out of the shower, towel dry really, really well. Probably, depending on the hair length and the thickness, probably 20-cent piece, 50-cent piece. Rub it really well through. Mid-lengths and ends, leave it in.
Oh, right.
It's beautiful. It's green tea, aloe vera, ginger extract, macadamia oil, and nettle leaf.
And it smells
So the
beautiful.
ingredients is just so natural and beautiful.
It sounds amazing.
Give that one to Ash and see what she thinks.
Oh.
Now he's got it up his nose.
Oh, Ash is gonna love this
She's
stuff.
going to love it. The other thing is the argan oil. How good's the argan
the
oil?
argan oil's
The argan oil is just beautiful.
What do we do with the argan now?
It's like
Well,
a
the
little-
argan oil is like a serum. So you can put that on wet or dry. Same sort of thing.
On your
Take it
hair.
through, take it through mid-lengths and ends. This is actually even good on the scalp. I've said with clients who have got itchy scalps, irritated scalps, everything, just flares up, psoriasis. You can actually massage that into the scalp, drag it all the way through and leave that in. That combined with the leave-in treatment, a bit of both combined, rubbing it together, putting that through is beautiful.
Boom.
The bomb. The bomb.
The bomb. It sounds like it. Do you sell it as a package? Call it the bomb. There you go. I've just
there you
marketed
go.
something.
We have a few bundles. There's a few
We've
bundles.
got bundles on the
online.
website.
The bomb.
You can buy your there's
Shampoo.
the hydrate, the blonde, the volume bundles. There's
The repair mask.
and you
can
get a
buy.
few of these in that bundle to sort of try, and it's
Sounds
at a
perfect.
discounted price.
Do you've obviously got the full size products here.
Yep.
Do you do a range of testers as well too or not? Have
I
you got
do.
testers?
Yes, I do.
So
The volume shampoo and conditioner come in a 50ml tester.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to come in and grab some, I'm more than happy to give it to
Now,
them.
where are you located again? You're in
Thomas Street, Brighton.
Brighton,
East.
that's right.
Yeah.
So laneway.com.au.
AU. Yeah. So the salon's called the Laneway.
That's correct, the Laneway.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. We'll actually put that up on the podcast down the bottom so people can check you guys out. That sounds like an amazing
Come
range
in,
of
say
products.
hello, and grab some samples.
Sounds good. And you're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Ah,
Online?
Online. We're not there packing and posting in the evenings with the shardy.
Well, look, so with this...
The good thing with the product, people are loving it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so happy with it. People are absolutely loving it. They're coming back. They're buying it again. And, I've just had some incredible feedback with it.
Well, that's true
So-
testament to exactly what you set out to do, was provide a product range that fits with your ethos, which is what your clients want.
Yeah.
And your clients are reaping the benefits from it, and they're coming back again.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's a win-win-win.
I know.
You've obviously done your research. You're a smart lady, and you're giving them what they want, and it just sounds it sounds, smells, and is just awesome.
Yeah.
The
Thank
little
you.
50ml bottles are perfect too for. I've got a beach house that we Airbnb, so I've been putting the product in there in the Airbnbs.
Oh,
with that
nice.
And the hand wash, and because the packaging is so simplistic, it's not sort of. It just looks nice. It looks nice in the bathroom, but it also knows that the people who are for those who are Airbnb hosts, there's some nice little the 50ml bottles are great because people will
And they're
take
sold-
it and use it.
Yeah,
And,
they're sold on the website as well.
They're
too,
sold
so.
on the website, yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
they
So
are.
if you're listening, you've got a Airbnb or a stay house.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But any of your listeners that want to come in and grab some, I'm happy they can come in and try it. And
Yep.
I'm sure they will. After listening to this.
And perhaps
Yeah,
there's
they,
other salons as
they had to
beautiful.
sit through the vag stuff, but once we
we got to the point.
we got through the dryness, we're
all right.
We're smooth sailing.
We're all
the
sorted
way.
now because we've got the Lane & Co products.
absolutely.
So with what do we say? We're a year and a half in the journey for the product so far.
We launched.
Oh no,
July?
we're not even. We launched July. We're not even a year in.
Yeah.
we
launched
been through
July.
a few.
I've been trialing and testing for probably about a year, all up. But we didn't launch until July. So
Well, you didn't launch until you're ready, were you?
no,
Because that's the thing is like if if you didn't do your testing and your due diligence. You know,
I wanted to know what people thought about it. Like I wanted them to feel it, test it, go away, come back, tell me what they thought. So yeah, there was so much that went into it, but it was we launched it in July and it's been just incredible since. The feedback I've had is amazing.
awesome. Any hurdles? Any?
Well, 5 years ago I actually tackled this.
Yeah.
And I think you got to be in a really good headspace to go down this path. So probably 5 years ago it was hard, it was difficult. We had COVID, another hurdle. I put it to the back burner. And then probably about 2 years ago I thought, it was constantly niggling at me. So I thought, I've got to reopen it again. So I reopened it, and that was probably about 18 months ago, I suppose. Trial tested it.
Yep.
And launched it in July. So
you've had
still early days.
Oh, for sure. But you had no hiccups. So you set out, you had a plan of what you wanted to do, obviously.
Yeah, I had a few packaging issues at the beginning, but having the clientele that I've got, they gave me the feedback straight away. I changed it.
What were the issues?
I had a few pumps on the shampoos and conditioners, and they weren't coming out properly. So we changed them pretty quickly.
So you changed the type of pump, or you changed the supplier for the pump?
No, just changed the pumps.
Yep.
So I made something that was even more simple. And people are just, as soon as I changed it, they absolutely loved it. So
these
this is the other reason of having the clientele that I've got. I've known them for so long. They gave me positive feedback. So, yeah.
And they're honest.
Yeah.
They'll honestly say, because they want to see that there's no doubt about your clientele. They want to see, and Paula's had generations of clientele. So even some of the, the older men and women, their kids and their kids are coming through the salon.
Yeah.
And so they've sort of come to know, Paula, so it's in there, they want to see her succeed, and it's actually really lovely.
And it's a trust thing. People love it, they buy it, they trust me, so they want to, support me. So that's probably the best thing I've had out of it. People, they love it. So, and it's about trust, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting the
just
right
being
product
honest.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's been amazing.
You've backed yourself all the way, and as you say, you've given results, and you've had that response back from your client. We're talking about the generations of clients. That's the great thing about your industry, is that some may fall off the end, but there's going to be other ones coming through. It's just that's typical
And
of the
people
the
come and
industry
go.
that you're in.
That's
for
just
sure.
the way it is. People
Yeah.
come and go in your life, just like friends come and go. They come back at right time. So it's been a great journey. I've loved it.
It's awesome.
I've loved it.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
As I said, it's amazing looking, and it smells great. And I'm sure my lovely wife is going to
She's gonna
enjoy
love it.
everyone.
She's going to love it.
Just send me the bill for that. Thank you very much.
All
we'll
with
give
love
you a
for
free.
you, Brendo.
We'll give you a
All
free
with
cap.
love.
It's
We'll give you,
celebratory.
you got to leave via the gift shop on the way out. So we'll comp
we
you
need
some
to-
stuff. We'll comp you some stuff on the way out.
We're going to be walking around in all the gear.
Yeah.
Hey, so the one thing going back to the menopause was one of the symptoms was hair loss. Is that as prevalent as what they're saying it is, or is it as we get old? I mean, you've been around here for a long time. I'm lucky; I've got a good head of hair, thanks to Grandad. With females, is it prevalent as they get older? Is hair loss prevalent?
I think hair goes in all different stages. So I know when someone's having children, 5 months after they've had the baby, 5 to 6 months, they lose a lot of hair. So
they lose that forever?
No, it grows back, but when they're breastfeeding, obviously the baby's taken all the goodness out of them, so they do lose that hairline hair, and it does grow back. It is interesting. So, and I think as you get older, your hair changes so much. It's like menopause, and you can do whatever you want to do when you're younger, but as you get older, you've got to change your lifestyle a little bit. So it's the same with hair. You've just got to, start using good products, because it will thin out. It's a natural progression of hair. It changes. You get grey. The texture changes. You've got to start using good products on your hair. So it's the same sort of thing.
Okay, so we're talking about the using of products versus not using products. Now, with hair, there's not much you can do without having to use products, is there? I mean, you can wet your hair.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be using soaps or anything on your hair, but at some stage you've got to be using products. Is that correct? For the cleanliness of the hair and for the health of the hair. So we're saying naturally, if I didn't wash my hair, I didn't use any of these products,
It'd be oily
it'd just be oily
and smelly.
It's smelly.
Yeah.
Even if this is I didn't want to go down this road, but we've gone down this, just the horrible sort of oily, smelly
You
hair.
said you don't wash your hair,
Well,
Brenda.
no, I take good care of my hair. But what I'm saying is that if I didn't do that, that's where I'd end up. It'd just be oily and
Yeah, well, you want your hair to look good. You want it to feel good.
everybody does.
Yeah,
and
if they're using a good product, you don't want a product that's gonna strip it. There's a lot of, say, supermarket products out there that, is full of detergent.
Okay, well, talking about that, can we name and shame? Can we give our listeners, we don't have to be specific, but can we give our listeners some products that they buy in the supermarket to avoid for their hair?
Well, there's quite a few that I know that will strip your hair out. So, if you want to get rid of a colour or whatever, you can use these particular products. I probably shouldn't name any of them, but the 2-in-1 products, they're not particularly good. They aim to clean and condition at the same time, and I don't believe that works, and I don't think it happens. I think when you buy shampoo that's not natural, I think you use a lot more of it, because these sort of products are all very, what's the word? They're all natural, so you don't need as much.
Yep.
So a lot of the supermarket, they're all pretty much detergent based.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's why they
You
tend
say
to strip a lot of it. Well,
you say
they-
detergent, and I'm
MEAs
thinking about washing my dishes, because as you say, you want a good detergent to get the grease off your plates.
yeah, but
Yeah.
washing the dishes and washing your hair's a little bit different.
But what I'm saying is the word detergent. That's you get these connotations.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
not all.
And some of them
not
are
all
packed with
shampoos are
probably
like that.
fillers and stuff like that. That's not really got any goodness to it. They're just filling to foam up and get, with the Land & Co products, their texture of your shampoo and your conditioner is slightly different to what you would.
They're
Yep.
thick and beautiful and creamy, and they just smell good, and you just know it's good quality.
So I hear detergents, and as you say, it just strips away. What? Because you want a bit of natural oil in your hair, don't you? Because that keeps it healthy and
Yep.
so the natural. So explain to me, the scalp produces oil,
Natural oils, yep.
or so is it produced at the scalp or in the hair?
In the hair follicle. So you need to clarifying shampoo is something that will clean the scalp up, get rid of all the nasties on it, the dandruff, the flaky scalp.
Okay. We're talking bacteria as well too. There's a certain amount of bacteria.
Yeah.
and dead skin and naturally on your skin and on your body.
Yeah, so you want to clarify that as well. And
Yeah.
that's what these products do. The Hydrate shampoo, the Volume shampoo will literally get rid of all those harsh chemicals on the scalp. So you need to sort of replenish. And that's what they do. It's all natural.
Okay, so technically you're washing away all the nasties and you're replacing it with the good stuff.
Yeah.
The good oils and the good botanicals and the
Yep.
yeah. So going back to the supermarket stuff, you said about the 2-in-1s were bullshit.
Bullshit.
That was not your words, but
Bullshit.
2-in-1s are what about anti-dandruff? Are they bullshit too?
Well, look, a lot of anti-dandruff are really harsh. You ask anybody who's giving their some of the anti-dandruff shampoos on the market are really hard on the scalp and will strip your colour. So
Are they going to strip my grey? Do they work on
No.
grey?
It's all right. I'm really grey under this.
so am I.
The
There's
trouble,
no-
see, the
there's
thing,
no-
the
there's no
thing
going
is,
back there.
guys versus girls. Is I start dyeing my hair at 52, I look like I'm dyeing my hair at 52, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to hold on to something.
And I'd be the first to say, don't do it.
Exactly, and I'm trying to hold on to something that is not there anymore. There's actually a couple of products on there that will actually slowly take a little bit of the grey out every time you wash your hair, or just with a serum, so it doesn't look like you've had a full dye job.
Yeah.
Now, I know guys out there are thinking, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with where I've got grey sides in that, but when you dye your hair, it's all going to be one mute colour.
Yeah. When it's short like yours, it will
Exactly.
be. Yeah.
And it just
Colour
guys,
natural.
it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Doesn't suit the fellas. It's like
And the chicks
My
know.
husband says
The
he's
chicks
bald,
know.
and he says as you're walking down the street at times, he needs to give it away. He needs to just buzz it.
It's like the comb over. Give the comb over away. Just clipper it.
Yeah.
Give it a buzz.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a struggle I can't relate to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure,
lucky.
as I said, thanks to my granddad, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that, especially in social media these days, from a vanity point of view, they're strong, they're virile, but they're losing their hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure, you can jump on a plane and go to Turkey Air and get a hair transplant, which a lot of people are doing these days.
Yeah, they are.
Or you can just grace.
Toupees, gluing on a toupee up the top. I think a lot of guys are doing that now.
Yeah. Well, if you're too far gone for a transplant, that's it was funny because the conversation I had with my hairdresser last night, she said, after I'm finished, I was your last client for the day. She said, after I'm finished with you, I'm going to see my friend who's a hairdresser. He does my hair, I do his hair. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. And she had a nice red streak or whatever through it. She goes, but his is a little bit more difficult. And I go, oh, how's that? Oh, he's got hair here, no hair up here. So I'm pointing to the top of my head. And he's got a glue-on toupee. So every 3 or 4 weeks, she goes and resets his toupee. And she said, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
It's that well done.
Yeah.
Which is
Pretty amazing these days.
which is amazing, isn't
Yeah,
it? You know?
yeah. And good on him. If that's what he wants to do, if that's what's making him feel good about himself, there, go
not?
for
Well,
it.
that's the thing. I'm a big believer in making changes to make yourself happy with who you are.
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
If there's an opportunity to do something, to change something, and you can do it, and it's going to make you happier, do it.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know? I did it with my teeth. You know, I had bent teeth for most of my life, and was like, had enough.
Yep.
Had enough.
Your
tried-
teeth are good.
Well, it's just 4 veneers at the
Yeah,
front. Like the
yeah.
bottom's all fucked up, but
Yeah.
that's the main thing. But I had eye teeth, and my front teeth were bending in.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where enough's enough. I tried the Invisalign, it
Yeah.
sort of straightened it out, and I said, no, I need a fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had a few veneers put at the front of mine because as you get older, my teeth were thin.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were almost like they were translucent.
Yep.
They were thin, and I grind my teeth. I'm a massive grinder.
Oh.
So at night and in the morning, I'd wake up with a sore jaw. And that was all. There was a few chips in there from grinding. So I did the same thing.
Yeah,
Made me feel good. I hated my teeth.
Fuck, 100%. It's like,
Yeah.
why did I wait this
Yeah,
long to do it?
yeah.
But it was a process. You know, I
Yeah.
tried to do it. I tried to straighten them out. But as you get older, shit's only going to move. You know, I wasn't
Yeah.
going to get a full face of
Yeah.
of
But there's wear and
braces.
tear, isn't there? Over
Yeah.
the years, it's wear and tear. It was,
Well, when you think about it, 50 years of chomping and
grinding.
and
Grinding my teeth.
Yeah.
Or at night.
Grinding has a big impact.
Oh,
we're still
God.
talking about teeth, yeah?
Yeah. We're not going there.
You're
We've done
easy.
that part.
I love it. You're an easy catch.
We've done that part. Oh, God.
The
Did we
Vajucci
cover
part.
that?
The Vajucci part we've done.
Dryness.
Now we're on the teeth.
Dryness.
We've done the
Now
hair
we're
on
on
the
teeth, we're
teeth.
on hair, we've done sunscreen, we've done it all. We've solved the problems of the world.
Yeah.
Actually, I really wanted to talk, thinking about, because we're talking about hair. Did you say your husband doesn't have hair?
Yeah, no, he's bald. Well, out of choice, he probably would have, I don't know what you call that bit.
He just clippers his.
He just
Mark clippers his.
He has this thing called the bulldog, and he
Just does the whole...
buzzes it all.
Cool.
Well, Mark has the donut.
Yeah, that's
He's
what I
got the
think Adam
donut
would
at the
have.
back. He'd
I
have
think
the
he would
donut.
have the donut.
Yeah.
But Adam does that, and he's a fan of just roll with it. You'll be right. Just buzz it off. It's nice and clean. He puts sunscreen on his head.
That's good. That was not the point I was trying to make.
Okay, what was that?
No,
We drifted again.
Well, no, because you said we touched on whether he had hair or not, but
Yes.
what I was alluding to was going back to the point where you knew something was changing in you.
Yes, yeah.
What can you tell me what the conversation was that you had with that. It's Adam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you remember the conversation? Did it happen when you came back from the doctors or prior to the doctors?
No, I think the conversation was because it was getting a little bit tricky just to be intimate. So I said...
So that was the catalyst. That's where it started?
That was probably a big catalyst for me because I like being intimate with my husband. So... and
not many do.
And I like him.
So
He's
that's a good
What, her husband you're talking about?
No, a lot of women don't want to be with their husbands.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
We're not talking just Adam.
And at least you want to.
Yeah, I love him. I love you, Anzi. And the thing is
he's going to love this, isn't he?
He's
Yeah.
not. I'm not letting him hear this.
We'll make a short so he can...
Yeah, maybe edit that bit out.
No, we'll put it on Insta as a short and then he can share it with his mates.
Tag him. He'll love that even more.
He's no, it was just like, you know what, bugger this, I'm doing something about it. This is not on.
Okay,
I'm not having
but
this.
you sat down and had a conversation. Like,
We did,
there was
and
a
it
realisation.
but we're fairly frank and pragmatic and very direct.
I can imagine
you
that.
can probably imagine there's a lot
can
of
imagine
banter and carry on that goes. We have a very funny dynamic. My husband makes me laugh from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed, and it's.
How about that? That's the
How
secret
good's
to
that?
success,
How
isn't
nice
it?
is that?
Yeah,
That is
he's
the
just
secret to success.
He just has some hilarious one-liners. Some of them probably not, politically correct, but we're probably not that household, to be honest. But
That's
it was
nothing
one
to
of
be
those.
ashamed of.
It was one of those frank conversations
Yep.
of, all right, no, this is something has to happen here. This is not, I'll go see a doctor. I'll get this sorted out and find out some things. And
now
that was sort of the mission, right? I went off and sort
yeah.
of said, and the doctor I always say, I come back and I go, oh, she's brutal. She's such a bitch. But I keep going back.
Oh, really? Is she just rude to you? Or is she
No,
just
she's just
blunt?
well, she's blunt. She won't let me get away with anything, and I'll try and sort of.
How
It's
good
a
is
good
that?
thing, though.
Which
It's
is
a good thing.
fantastic. How lucky am I to have a doctor like that? But at the time when you're sitting there and she says, right, I get on the scales, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to get on the scales right now. Oh, but I had a big weekend. Get on the scales. So, she'll say, right, okay, I want you to do this, and I'll put you on HRT. And there are a lot of check boxes in that process when you go to the doctor. She had a lot of check boxes of, do you smoke? Do you drink? Are you overweight? Do you have, what medications you're on? I want you to get sort of some blood tests so we can just have a look at what's happening, osteoporosis like
Yep.
your wife. So, and she sent me off on my merry way with sort of a bit of a bribe, and maybe that was her way of sort of saying, all right, well, you know what, you need to smarten up with some lifestyle changes too. And so I
That's
went
not
to
a bad
dietitian.
thing. That's not a bad thing, though, is it?
No, I went to a dietitian and lost 10 kilos and, still going.
Great. Congratulations.
I went to the same dietitian, didn't I?
Yeah, we went to Vicky Gomez. Hi, Vicky, at Healthy Empire. And she was fantastic clinical dietitian, and they're just things I guess we also become mindful at this stage of our lives. I've got my dad is in aged care with Alzheimer's, and
So is my dad.
and
Oh, really?
so is Paula's. We talk about it a lot, and
Vascular dementia. Dementia's pretty big now.
and you look at it and you go, this is an absolute shit of a disease, and I don't particularly want it. I don't want to get this. So it's also about your own mortality. It makes you question and makes you think about, all right, well, maybe I need to understand this disease is in the family, no different to, cancers. So
Yeah, a lot of times there's not a lot you can do about it.
no.
Isn't it gene based? It's not hereditary, is it? I don't think it's
no,
but there are markers in your.
There are some. I think they said to us when Dad was first diagnosed, they had, I had some counselling with Mum with Dementia Australia, who were absolutely fantastic, and I urge anyone who's going through that with their family members to call that hotline, because it's amazing, and the counsellors on the other end are amazing, and they can come in. We had someone come into the home and talk to us, and we did sort of a series of sessions to understand, I had no idea about Alzheimer's and dementia. So it was one of those things to understand the disease, what's going to happen, what is actually going to unfold over the next 10 years, you know.
And the impact of family.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I've
Well,
learned.
that's
And the dynamics and the
dynamics.
effects of it. That's a whole new podcast.
Yeah, that's
It is.
that's
It is.
another issue all in itself.
It is sad. It's a sad, shitty
Yes.
disease.
It is
you
a
know,
shitty
and
disease.
it's one of those things that, as you say, you can take care of yourself. We're talking about your own mortality, and for me, at 50, it hit me pretty fucking hard.
Yep.
But I've always been in check with my body. I always get my bloods done
Yeah.
3 to 6 months.
Yep.
You know, I'm always well aware of what's going on physically.
Yep.
You know, and as we said
So
before
good.
about exercise, about diet, you know, sleep, mental health is another big one.
Yep.
That's another big key buzzword at the moment, male and female.
Yep.
Although guys are starting to talk about it a lot more now, which is great.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and social media helps with that.
Yep.
But as you say, I mean, there's stuff that you can do. You can do everything right that you think, you know, is
And
in
still-
line with
Yeah.
health guides, and then you can get struck down with something
Yeah, absolutely.
which is unfair, like Alzheimer's or some other motor neuron disease.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but you know, I think the main thing is, as I'm saying, with regards to menopause, is that you're going to have these symptoms, and sometimes if you don't have everything else in check, it's going to exacerbate these
Yeah.
symptoms. And
Yep.
Yeah.
and as you say, everybody has different versions of menopause,
Yep.
and it could be as simple as lifestyle or
Yeah.
you know, luck of
Yeah.
the draw. But
You just got to look after yourself, don't
I think
you?
you've just got to. It's the old self care. What did we say? That was sort of our line, which sort of came up was that, you know,
Hair care, self-care.
for Lane and Co. was hair care is self care.
yeah, beautiful. That was on the bottom. Was that on the? I didn't read that out.
Yeah, it was on
We
the
left
bottom, but
that
it's yeah. So we
Hair care, self-care. It's a mantra that we all need to...
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
and
Yeah.
that was
To
sort
look
of
at.
one of the things is that this product is just part of self care of a self care regime, and that makes you feel good. And if that makes you feel good, then maybe it just eases the menopausal symptom load for you know for our age group or for that particular demographic. It's got other benefits for, you know, the young fellas and for our teenagers, and you know, so it does expand
And
across
those
everybody.
young'uns always want to look good and feel good, so
Yeah.
they've got to use good products.
Well, the good part about that is that ties in with the mental health thing. It's when you don't feel good about
Yeah.
yourself, or you
Yeah.
know, you've got maybe acne or whatever, you know, and it
You've
starts
got to get on and change it, don't
and
you?
it starts young. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's about that education about that self love and making
Yeah.
sure that you're right within yourself, and
Yeah.
and if you can make changes, and if like with buying a product, it's like if
Yep.
buying that product is going to give you that little bit of satisfaction because you know it's going to be good for you, it's going to give you results, it's going
Yeah.
to make you feel better, it's going to make you look better, you know, and it's just a win-win situation for
Hair's so underrated like that.
Yeah,
I mean, every
it is,
person
isn't
that
it?
comes into the salon, their hair is everything. That's one thing that didn't slow down when COVID happened. People still wanted to get their hair done.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And even now, I mean, even when, you know, things are a bit tough financially for people, they still want to have their hair done because it's a feel-good look. It's
Remember what I did?
oh,
I made
God.
Paula
I was going to say, did you
deliver
get
me
a
some.
go?
I tried to do something myself, and
I
then
thought-
I sent her a photo and said, "You really need to fix this." In the middle of COVID.
I thought you were going
was
to. I
hilarious.
thought you were going to say you did a GoFundMe page to get your next haircut.
Oh, God.
No, we were
And
like
then you tried to bleach Maddie's hair, didn't you? That was another
we bleached-
disaster
we
in COVID.
in COVID, I said, just give me some stuff. I'll mix it up. It'll be fine.
I did a buzz cut during COVID.
Did you?
Just shaved it all off.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably a good idea. I should have done it.
It was. And it cleared
Paula
up a bit of
fixed it.
scalp issue as well too.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
it breathe and stuff like that. Oh, COVID. Ugh.
Yeah, we
God.
can't. We can't.
No,
it's a distant memory.
we're
I
not
can't
in-
even believe we went there. We
Oh,
did what we
no.
did, or didn't do what we. Oh, it's just a nightmare.
And the cause and effect from COVID is still hitting everybody hard today. I mean, the reason
Yep.
why we've got high interest rates is because of COVID.
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the world's
Yeah.
the world's crazy. Well,
It is a bit crazy. You got to laugh at it a bit sometimes.
in all this craziness, we can still get a nice haircut. We can
Yes.
colour our hair. We can feel good.
Yeah. Because
We're still happy. We're still living.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's the thing. We're alive.
Yeah.
We're getting very philosophical here.
I know.
There's nothing wrong with that. If they haven't if they haven't turned off by now, they're going to listen to right to they're going to listen to the
more
end.
of it.
So anybody listening, you've got to stick to the end. Otherwise, you're a pussy.
Oh, dear.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot. As we said earlier on, we're not experts on
No.
on vaginal dryness, but we are experts in products and hair
products.
care, which is
Yeah.
Feeling good.
as we said, feeling good. So, ladies, thank you very much for your
Thank
time
you.
today. It's been an
Thank you for having
absolute
us.
pleasure, and it's
you.
not as scary as what everybody said.
Oh,
what you
no,
think it is. So you've just conquered a fear, which is amazing.
Yes.
Stepped
You-
out of our comfort zone.
We did
didn't
step
we?
out of our
You've
comfort
just
zone.
helped LUID celebrate its 21st
Yeah.
episode. So
Congratulations, Brenda.
Yeah,
I was here on the
absolutely.
launch, which was, what did we say, 2 years ago?
it was just under 2 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we opened the studio.
fantastic.
So
Yeah.
it's
Everyone was in awe of you. You were doing something that you hadn't done before. You were
really
stepping out
was
of the,
it.
I couldn't believe this studio. Like, I was
Yeah, it's
just so
amazing.
impressed, and I think it's just getting better and better for you. You're only just touching the surface.
I know, and
and
every
what
time.
a feeling's that?
Well, look, every time I get in the studio, I fucking love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. And for me, it's about spending more time in here. As I said, I think I've done my apprenticeship. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I've earned the right to have the seat now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I think all I can do here now is just grow.
Yep.
We're going to get bigger and better. And we're going to have some awesome people on like yourself, which is what we want. People want to hear stories. They want to relate to people.
Yeah, normal,
Yeah.
everyday
Normal,
people.
I don't do-
like
everyday
us.
people.
We made a couple of notes on a napkin when we started this, and was like, no famous people and no bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We're here to educate. We're here to help. We're here to facilitate.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I want, and I've said it before. It's not about the money. I want people to listen to this and take something away from it. And if they do and they use it and it becomes part of their life, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you've done amazing here.
Yeah. it's
thank you very
fantastic.
much, ladies. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us,
very
Brenda.
much for having us.
That's a wrap, man.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in and for your time. You know the vibe, I'm steady living until I die. It's a LUID state of mind, and we showed you that. Keep it authentic and real, I hope you coming back. Hey, make sure that you subscribe, cause we got it popping all the time, and it's going down. If you wanna elevate, wanna live a better life, keep it locked here. You know it's a LUID state of mind, let's go.